They granted her just one phone call inside that cold, unforgiving jail cell. Bruised, exhausted, and out of options, Maya Thompson's fingers trembled as she dialed the one number she had sworn she would never use, unless her very survival depended on it. "I'm coming." That was all her brother said. No questions, no hesitation, just a promise. Sheriff Cole Mercer ruled Westbrook with an iron fist. His power built on a foundation of fear, corruption, and brutality. False arrests planted evidence, shattered lives. His badge was his shield, making him untouchable. His precinct, a fortress of lies. No one had dared to challenge him. Till now. Because this time he made a fatal mistake. He went after the sister of Darius Thompson, the most lethal Delta Force commander in U.S. history. Now, with the precision of a soldier who once dismantled enemies of the nation, Darius moves through Westbrook like a shadow, one step at a time, tearing apart a corrupt system that thought it was invincible. Some men exploit power. Others, they know exactly how to take it away. Before we dive back in, tell me, where are you watching from today? And if you love these gripping stories, make sure you're subscribed because tomorrow's special episode, you won't want to miss it. Now back to Maya. The fluorescent lights of the quick-stop gas station flickered, casting eerie, shifting shadows over Maya's face as she pulled her worn-out Honda Civic into the only available pump. The digital clock on her dashboard glowed. 11:37 p.m. A sigh slipped past her lips as she rolled her shoulders, trying to ease the tension that had built up over her grueling 12-hour shift at Memorial Hospital. Her scrubs still carried the faint, sterile scent of antiseptics from the ICU. "Mom, can I get something to eat?" The sleepy voice from the back seat belonged to Elijah, her 13-year-old son. Tall for his age, all lanky limbs and deep, thoughtful eyes. Eyes that had seen too much too soon. Maya glanced at him through the rearview mirror and forced a tired smile. "Of course, baby. Just grab something quick, okay? We both need some rest." The night air was crisp against her skin as she stepped out to pump gas. She watched as Elijah trudged toward the convenience store, his oversized basketball sneakers scuffing lightly against the pavement. Guilt settled heavily in her chest. Another night spent in the hospital break room, finishing his homework while she pulled a double shift. She had promised him 1,000 times over that one day things would change, that one day life would be better. She just never expected that night to be the one that changed everything. She didn't see the police cruiser pull up behind her until the blinding white glare of its headlights swallowed her car. The low, steady rumble of the engine sent a chill through her spine. She knew this feeling. She had lived in Westbrook long enough to understand exactly what was happening. A black woman alone at a gas station this late, in a neighborhood like this? It was enough to make her a target. 2 officers stepped out. The first, tall, broad-shouldered, with a buzz cut and a cocky stride, moved with the confidence of someone who had never been told no a day in his life. His nameplate read Tate. The second, shorter and stockier, walked a slow circle around her car like a predator sizing up prey. His hand rested casually on his holster. "Wilkins." "Evening, ma'am," Tate drawled, his tone thick with forced politeness. "This your vehicle?" Maya kept her hands where they could see them, her movements controlled, careful. "Yes, sir." "Is there a problem?" Wilkins swept his flashlight over her car, pausing at the faded paint and the dent in the bumper. "Matches the description of a stolen vehicle reported earlier tonight." Her heart stuttered. That didn't make sense. "There's got to be some mistake," she said quickly. "I've owned this car for 5 years. I have the paperwork." Tate's expression didn't change. "License, registration, proof of ownership." "Now." Maya swallowed hard, forcing herself to keep calm. "Of course. My purse is inside the car. May I reach for it?" Tate's gaze darkened, his jaw tightening. After a long pause, he gave a stiff nod. Slowly. As Maya leaned into the car, she spotted Elijah stepping out of the store, a bag of chips and a soda in his hands. His eyes widened at the sight of the officers. "Mom!" His voice cracked with uncertainty. Maya turned her head, offering him what she hoped was a reassuring smile. "It's okay, baby," she said softly, though her own voice wavered. "The officers just need to see my registration. Everything's fine." Wilkins cut his gaze toward Elijah. "Stay right there, kid." Elijah froze. Maya handed over her documents, her hands trembling slightly. "Here. Everything's in order." Tate barely glanced at them before shoving them at Wilkins. "This doesn't prove a damn thing," he muttered. "Could all be fake." A sharp sting of panic shot through Maya. "What? Well, those are real." "Step away from the vehicle," Tate interrupted, his voice suddenly void of the fake pleasantries. Elijah took a step forward. "Mom! Stay back!" Wilkins barked. Maya saw Elijah reach for his phone. Wilkins saw it too. "What do you think you're doing?" He lunged forward. "Leave him alone," Maya shouted, stepping between them. Tate's grip was like iron as he yanked her arm behind her back. "I said step away." A sharp pain shot up Maya's arm. "You're hurting me," she gasped, tears burning her eyes. Meanwhile, Wilkins wrenched Elijah's phone from his hands, sneering as he held it up. "Filming cops. That's obstruction of justice, kid." "No, it's not." Elijah's voice was thick with fear but steady. "I have rights." Wilkins smirked and then crack. He crushed the phone beneath his boot. "Oops." Gasps rippled through the small crowd that had gathered. A woman stepped forward. "Officers, is this really necessary?" "Stay back, ma'am," Wilkins snapped. "Unless you want to spend the night in lockup." Another man, black in a business suit, held up his own phone, recording. Wilkins' eyes flicked to him, dark with warning. "Put it down." The man hesitated. "Last warning," Wilkins growled, stepping toward him. Reluctantly, the man lowered his phone, but didn't put it away. Tate shoved Maya hard against her car. "What else you got on you?" "Drugs. A weapon." "I'm a nurse," she choked out. "Please, just check my ID." "Stop resisting," Tate yelled. Maya wasn't resisting. She wasn't. But it didn't matter. A second later, the cuffs snapped around her wrists, so tight they bit into her skin. Tate leaned in, his breath hot against her ear. "You people never learn, do you?" The word stung like a slap. "Mom!" Elijah's voice broke, his face streaked with tears. Maya twisted desperately. "Elijah, call Miss Denise." Her last hope. But then, a sleek black SUV rolled in, tires crunching over the shattered remains of Elijah's phone. The driver's door swung open. Sheriff Cole Mercer stepped out. Cold, calculating, murking. And just like that, Maya knew. This wasn't about a stolen car.